All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers in today's video. I really like their free agency period thus far. Aaron Banks, Nate Hobbs, re-signing Isaiah McDuffie, bring in Brandon McManus back, Mecole Hardman a couple of days ago. The Packers are a very good team in the National Football League. They're coming off a really solid 11-6 record, and if you watch the Packers last year, it didn't feel like they went 11-6, felt a lot worse. And so as far as roster construction goes, the Packers don't need to go out there and make a move for a Josh Jacobs. They don't need to go out there and get an Xavier McKinney like they did last year. They just needed to continue to fill out this roster, and they're going to continue to do so in a month in the NFL draft. But thus far, man, I do like it. Specifically, the Nate Hobbs move. I think that is going to be, at the end of the day, one of the most underrated moves of the entire free agency period. But, even Aaron Banks, everybody was freaking out with, the amount of money. Like Aaron Banks, for example, 4-year, $77 million contract, but only $27 million of it is guaranteed. Like the Packers GM, Brian Gutekunst, he knows exactly what he is doing, and they still have Jordan Love. They still have all these weapons on offense. They still have, Edgerrin Cooper, so many weapons on defense. I was not expecting the Packers to go out there and throw up, $100 million. I know they don't have the salary, but you get what I'm saying. I didn't anticipate Green Bay to make like a Max Crosby trade or a Trey Hendrickson trade or anything crazy like that. So let's start it off with Mecole Hardman. He just turned 27 last week, and it's important to keep in mind that Christian Watson is done for at least half of 2025. Wide receiver was one of those positional groups where I'm a Packers fan. I'm a diehard Packers fan. But like people like myself and other Packers fans, I don't love the idea of going out there and signing Amari Cooper for a bunch of money. I don't really love the idea of going out there and getting Stephon Diggs for a bunch of money. But most Packers fans like myself would agree with the fact that there still needs to be a wide receiver number one or a clear-cut wide receiver one in Green Bay. But considering we're 2 weeks into free agency and they haven't made a big time move, Christian Watson, when he comes back, when Christian is healthy, the dude is a stud. Romeo Doubs, when he is playing, he is a stud. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, there's still so much talent in the wide receiver room. But once again, Christian Watson, speedster threat, down the field threats done for at least half of this upcoming season. So Hardman just turned 27. He's been in the NFL since the Chiefs drafted him in the second round, picked 56 overall in the 2019 NFL draft. And he did have a brief stint with the New York Jets in 2023, but then he joined the Chiefs in October. So he's pretty much been with Kansas City his entire NFL tenure. In that 2023 season, when he was briefly with the Jets, and he rejoined Kansas City. He actually had a dramatic walk-off touchdown in overtime against San Francisco, but unfortunately, he hasn't caught a touchdown in the regular season since 2022, and his career high for TD catches in a season is just 6 back in 2019. Career high for receiving yards, only 693 back in 2021. Despite being a second-round pick, he's known for his speed. So the way I see his fit in Green Bay is more of a gadget guy, right? Think Jaden Reed type of guy, and then special teams. But we'll get to that in just a second. But Mecole also has 26 rushes and 3 touchdowns in his career, so he can be used, like I just said, as a gadget piece. All right, guys, before we get back to this video here, shout out to our sponsor, Mando. Now that spring is in the air, the weather's warming up. Personally, I'm most looking forward to golf. I live here in the Sunshine State of Florida. It gets very hot, and I'm looking forward to it even more because I got Mando here. Unlike some of the other deodorants that I've tried, it can handle everything. This is my favorite, the whole body deodorant from Mando. I also love these full body deodorant wipes. That's my personal favorite. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code UPTON at checkout, and it's perfect for new customers because they've got a starter pack with this solid stick deodorant, these deodorant wipes that I just showed you. There's 2 free products of your choice. You get a cream 2 deodorant as well, and it's just perfect. You can use code UPTON at checkout, get $5 off your starter pack. That's pretty much 40% off. So Go check it out. Links in below, links in the comments as well. Thank you, Mando. But also provide wide receiver depth behind Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, etc., etc. But Hardman's probably the biggest knack is his fumbles. He has fumbled 9 times on offense and special teams in his career, which is actually 9th amongst all wide receivers in the NFL since 2019. There we go. So kind of profiling him as a, like I said, gadget guy and return man. He hasn't technically returned double-digit kicks in a season since his rookie year when he was named second-team All-Pro. But keep in mind, Gutekunst in the scouting combine a couple of weeks ago said that he doesn't want Keyshawn Nixon to be the sole kick returner for this team. Mecole has mainly been returning punts throughout his career, averaged 10.2 yards per return on 20 returns last year with Kansas City, while averaging a career high 26.4 yards per return on 5 kick returns. All right. He's also had a kick return touchdown in 2019 and a punt return touchdown in 2020. So I think he's going to be a big special teams guy with his speed, and you're also probably going to see somewhere between 10 and 30 catches for him with Jordan Love next year, at least until Christian Watson returns. And also, obviously, the NFL draft a month away. Don't count out, in fact, anticipate a wide receiver drafted probably in the 3rd round. That's where I think Green Bay will take a wide receiver. And then we move to Nate Hobbs. I've been making Raiders videos ever since Devontae got traded there a long time ago, and Nate Hobbs, people were ragging on this move because he doesn't stay healthy, or he hasn't stayed healthy in his NFL career, really. But you got him on a 4-year, $48 million contract. Only $16 million of that is guaranteed. This is a former 5th-round pick in 2021 out of the University of Illinois. And in his career, he has 3 interceptions, 1 in 2021, 2023, and 2024, along with 19 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles, 3 sacks, and 14 tackles for loss. He's got very good tools, all right? He's very fast. He's very athletic. He's very versatile. He has the physicality to play on the perimeter, but he's mainly played in the slot. In 2024, he played over 300 snaps in the slot, 100 at corner, and 116 in the box. In the slot, though, this is where it gets fun. 33 defensive backs played at least 200 coverage snaps, all right? Hobbs was 10th in that category in passer rating, 8th in yards per coverage snap, and 8th in snaps per reception. All right. So he had, even going back to 2021, a 79.2 PFF coverage grade. My point is, people rag on Nate Hobbs for his coverage abilities, right? He's very good in the run department, run stopping, very good physical guy. Yes, he's had some issues with tackling, but he's very good in run defense. He's also very solid in coverage, all right? Jair Alexander looks like he's returning. Keyshawn Nixon looks like he's moving to full-time cornerback, but I also still think the Packers in the first 3 rounds of the draft will select a cornerback of the future. The one big issue with Nate Hobbs is health, all right? Missed 6 of the Raiders' final 8 games this past year because of an ankle injury, and in 4 seasons with Las Vegas, he's played in 51 out of 68 regular season games. But keep in mind, run defensive grade, he's super solid. He's had 16 run stops last year and 81 in his NFL career. So I think he's a really good nickelback corner. I really do. And I just, like I said, watching him in Vegas for the last couple of seasons, I think this is a guy who fits Green Bay perfectly. It's very similar in the sense of Xavier McKinney as far as I'm excited about this secondary move, and I know Jeff Hafley, the Packers DC, is going to love him. Folks, I wanted to talk about Aaron Banks, but we ran out of time. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, but let me know down below. Give me a grade for the Packers free agency thus far. That's it for me. We'll see you soon. Peace.